Alright, so I made a video last night, but it was like 20 minutes long, and it should have only been like 3 minutes, but I was really tired and I couldn't think straight. And, I'm going to try to shorten it up in like 3 minutes or so. Alright, so I had another meteor confirmation Sunday night. I've had 3 so far since August, and all 3 meteors were the only 3 meteors that I've seen in the past 6 months or so. And I look up at the sky every night, and it's the only 3 times I've seen meteors was when I was praying to God for a sign, and He showed me a meteor each time. So, and as soon as I finished the sentence, He showed me the meteor. So that happened to me Sunday. I said, Lord, are you really coming this weekend? Because I was thinking that, you know, November 7th is looking pretty good, based on a video I watched, but I'm not going to get into all that. So I asked him, I was like, Lord, are you really coming this weekend? If you could show me a sign. I didn't say a meteor specifically, but that's the kind of signs He usually shows me. So yeah, as soon as I finished praying it, I saw a big bright meteor shoot across the sky. It was a big one. And I prayed it in my head too. I'm testing the spirits in every way I can think. So I prayed it in my head. But this time, unlike the last time, I decided to test the spirits using 1 John 4:2-3, where I specifically asked in my head, I prayed this in my head, I said, whatever spirit I just prayed to, if you could confess that Jesus came to earth and died, you know, Jesus came to earth in the flesh and died on the cross, if you could show me a sign to confirm that. And I kid you not, this was like right after I prayed that. I didn't see a meteor. It wasn't, I'm telling you, this wasn't a blink in the sky. It wasn't a flash. It wasn't a UFO. I've seen a bunch of UFOs too in my past, just so you know. But this wasn't like anything I've ever seen in my life. It was as if like a cosmic flashlight turned on and then back off out in the middle of space. I mean, this was way high up. It couldn't have been a tower or anything like that. It was way up in space. And I could see all these little tiny faint stars, you know, in the sky. But this thing was like, I'd say it was probably like 3 or 4 times brighter than, 3 or 4 times bigger than the North Star, Polaris, okay? If you can imagine how bright that is, this was like 3 or 4 times that size. So it wasn't that big, but it was big enough to be like, whoa, that's something, you know? And it was just like an LED light turning on and then back off, like for about a second. It wasn't like a quick blink, it couldn't have been a plane or anything like that. It was a like that for about that long. Turned on, then turned off. Looked just like if a flashlight was pointed directly at you and just turned on and back off. Out in the middle of space. I mean, it was incredible. I don't know what it was, but I think it was God. I mean, I know it was, because I mean, I tested the spirits. I asked, does this spirit confess that Jesus Christ came to earth in the flesh? And then as soon as I said that in my mind, this thing brightened up and turned off. It was like it was signaling to me that, yes, confirming, you know. I was like, whoa, okay, all right, this is not demons. This is definitely not demons now. Now, I did have, I'll say real quick, the last meteor that I saw, it was last month, October 16th. I thought he was coming the next day. I really thought he was. And so I went out there and I prayed and I said, Lord, if you're really coming tomorrow, could you show me a sign? And then I saw a big bright meteor shoot across the sky right after I finished the prayer. I said that one out loud though. And then I went inside though, but then I prayed in my head if I could have one more confirmation. And then He led me to go open my Bible, and I opened it randomly to a spot that my eyes landed exactly on the verse that was talking about He was going to raise the dead, and then soon after raise us up and meet him in the clouds, right? The rapture. That's the verse I landed on randomly. So, I mean, I believe that was God. But the thing is, I said tomorrow, and he didn't come tomorrow. He didn't come the next day. So I had to just pray about it and think about it, and I really do believe that it just means that my tomorrow isn't the same as God's tomorrow. And even if he doesn't come this weekend, if he doesn't come on November 7th, then maybe his weekend is not the same as my weekend, because I prayed if he was coming this weekend. But whether he comes or not, I do know that it was God. I do know that it was God. I mean, I literally tested the spirits the exact way that the Bible tells you to test the spirits. So I've tested it in other ways, like, praying in my head, and many times. I've prayed about it. I've prayed for discernment. I've prayed, to God to please make sure I'm not being deceived by anything. When we humbly pray to God and ask these things, Luke 11 says he's not going to give us a serpent or a stone in return. He's not going to give his children bad gifts, right? If we ask him for something, he's going to be faithful to answer us. So these aren't demons. But like I said, last time I started to be convinced, well, maybe it was demons. But because he didn't come the next day. But like I said, this time I tested the spirits using 1 John 4:2. So take with it what you can, what you want, but mockers and scoffers, I don't care. I'm going to delete your comment immediately, so don't even bother trying to argue with me or say I'm deceived or say I don't have the Holy Spirit or say that pre-trib rapture doesn't exist, only post-trib rapture, blah, blah, blah. I think everybody could be right about the rapture, about their timing of the rapture. I think the rapture, there might be a pre, mid, and post-trib rapture. So, what if we're all right? Believing in a pre-trib rapture is, if we're wrong, okay, it's not a salvation issue, no matter how much you think it is. You're misunderstanding the Bible. You're misunderstanding the gospel. Really. So I am praying for you guys, because if you really think that we're going to hell because we believe in a pre-trib rapture, you may need to check yourself. And plus, just saying that kind of stuff is not the type of thing Christians say to each other, okay? But anyway, I'm not going to make this video any longer like the last one. I think I summed up everything. Oh, I did have a dream that night, though. I went to heaven, and I don't remember it very well. I don't remember what was said. I was talking to somebody up there or something, but all I remember is as I was waking up, I saw big bold letters flash in front of me that said December 15th. Now, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's when the rapture will be, or if the rapture happens this weekend, then maybe something else significant is going to happen on December 15th, or maybe it was just a dream and it meant nothing, okay? But so take that with a grain of salt. But I did see December 15th, and I know Dr. Barry was saying something about December 15th was like Hanukkah, right? And something else, I think he said it was like Purim, maybe Purim, and that was a high watch date for him, I think, December 15th. And I saw that after. I saw that video the next day, so I had no idea December 15th was a watch date. I didn't even know. But that's what I saw in my dream. So, anyway, I think I covered everything. Yeah, and like I said, those 3 meteors are the only 3 meteors I've seen, and they were each time it was when I asked God for a confirmation. So that's pretty crazy, because I don't see any more. I haven't seen any other meteors besides immediately after asking those questions. So anyway, go to God about it, pray about it, get your own confirmation, or don't worry about it. Nobody knows day or hour, right? All right. Take care. I love you guys. Hopefully we'll see you up there soon. God bless. Maranatha. So one more thing I forgot to add, the whole 11 set, I mean the whole 6-7 thing still would fit with this November 7th date, right? Especially if maybe God raises the dead on the 6th and then us on the 7th. That would kind of explain those hand motions, you know, like 6, 7. The dead go up on the 6th. We go up on the 7th. 6, 7, you know? So, I just thought that was cool, that it still would fit with that whole thing, because I just think there's something up with that, you know? Most of the kids don't even, I mean, some of them know where it came from. It came from some rapper and then from some kid at a ball game, but they really don't know why they're saying it. It just became a thing, and they don't know why, right? So, we know what the 6-7 means. Wink, wink. But anyway, I just wanted to add that in.